Hey.
Hey.
So we got Dylan from Draft all the way from Canada on Decibel with us, and I'm Dan, first time on Decibel.
First time for me too, yeah.
So Dylan, what's your story?
So I grew up in Sri Lanka for most of my life. Moved to Toronto about 10 years ago, which is where Draft started with someone I went to school with, Dravish. That's been basically most of my life. Funny enough though, I worked as an accountant while playing heavy metal with Draft, but that's been the last few years. But yeah, and back here for a short holiday stint, and enjoying being back in Sri Lanka.
Oh, cool. So what do you do in the band? Guitars, vocals?
Yeah, so I front the band, so I do a lot of the vocals, the lyrics, as well as I contribute on guitar as well.
And management-wise?
Yeah, so we don't really have a manager at this point. It was something that we discussed that might happen in some time, but so far I manage most of the band's everything, I guess.
So the band name, you told me the other day that there was an interesting story behind it. It was just random and I didn't expect that to.
Right.
How did that come about?
Yeah, so we didn't really have a name planned as such, and we had to play a show. One thing or the other, our bassist at the time, Brian, we were all outside, just right outside our house from our practice space, and we were discussing the fact that, hey, we need to come up with a name because we're going to play the show, like I think it was the day before. And then he was like, I thought we were called Draft. And the reason for that was because we had a draft recording of a song that we sent over, and we just kind of ran with it ever since. And it works for us because it's very, it's open to interpretation, it's very ambiguous, it works. And I like that because it's very open.
Yeah.
So.
Because when I first heard the name, I didn't expect it to be a metal band or a rock band.
Right.
I thought it was some contemporary form
Right.
of digital music.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be a metal band.
Yeah.
This was about a year ago, I think.
Seriously, yeah.
When we started talking,
Yeah.
FB, and that was it. And releases,
Mhm.
you told me that you were looking at some videos coming out next year.
Yeah, so we wanted to do a video for Breakaway for the longest time, but unfortunately one thing led to another and we really couldn't get the ball rolling on it. But now it's a matter of
The struggles.
the struggles of being a musician, right? Getting stuff done. But this year we want to record some new stuff, and we don't really know what video we'll release. It might be one of the older songs, or it might be one of the new ones. We've been working with a couple of guys from there, and we've been having conversations back and forth. So we want to make everything kind of release at the same time, kind of build up to the next release.
Right.
Yeah.
An album?
Yeah. So I would love to say an album, but I can't really. At this point, we just want to promise a bit less and deliver a bit more. That's what we've learned. So I'm gonna say EP for now, kind of, and then let's see where it goes.
Definitely, what you guys should consider is having the launch in Sri Lanka as well.
Yeah.
For your upcoming EP or album, and tour over here as well.
Yeah, it's something that I would definitely love to do, and definitely the guys, they'd love to come here. I think it's just a matter of figuring out how to go about doing it. This year, to be honest, would be pretty hard. We would really like to do a bit more around Canada. So far, most of our shows have been around Toronto and a bit away, Oshawa on the east end, and then Hamilton on the west, and that area. So we haven't really expanded that much beyond. In the short term, at least, we want to do go a bit more, go to Montreal, and a little bit in the States. We have people down, so try to do that. And definitely Sri Lanka is definitely on the map because we have a lot of fans there and people support us. So
yeah, we got a good crowd here who obviously support you guys. I mean, Coat of Arms came down, they had a really good following since their first gig.
Right.
2015.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
No.
look forward to getting you guys down here.
Yeah, we would definitely love to come and play, and rock out, because this is where really music started for me. So
So what got you into music? Was it from the Canadian scene, or was it the metal scene from Sri Lanka that influenced you? How did that come about?
So,
Your influences?
yeah, probably just if I was to draw a line in the sand, one point, it would probably be around 2000. I want to say 2003. Like, I think Hollow Dreams came out. Sigmata really paved the way. I missed that show. My dog died, and my mom was like, "Hey, you better bury the dog to go to this rock concert." So, kind of a dark story, but a segue. But the following, maybe there was a rock Saturday called November Rain. That was like my first rock concert ever. I didn't know what this headbanging thing was, and it was pretty cool, and I loved it, and that really inspired me when sticking.
So Rock Saturday.
Yeah.
You were looking at bands like Styx, Paranoid.
Yeah. So
Funeral, Fallen Grace, those guys.
no. So the night I went, there was a band called Head On Collision. I think Niroda used to play for the drums. He went to the school with me, and that's how I got to know about the show. And so I think they played, Tapas played, Ezra, a gospel rock band. I'm going like deep cuts now. Like it's like Ezra. I think Whirlwind played. Whirlwind. I want to say Paranoid. Yeah, Paranoid and Styx. Styx Close Tonight. So that was like, that's where it all kind of really started, and seeing people in Sri Lanka make original rock music that they believed in and were passionate in. That was very inspiring. So I tried to do stuff here. Didn't really go anywhere. But after moving to Canada, being in university, didn't really do the party scene. I felt pretty isolated, to be honest, in the first 3 years. And Ravish, who moved to Toronto from Mauritius, similar kind of story, played metal, loved metal music, so we connected, and we wanted to play like one show, and that's where the name, and that's where it started. But to be honest, when we started, we didn't play metal, we played alternative rock, because we felt like we wouldn't be able to like compose. Metal is like, it can be challenging, like technically demanding to kind of write like heavy riffs, and even to this day we're blown away by some of the amazing bands that we play with. And one thing led to another. The EP happened. That's when we took a straight left turn to like metal, because it was almost like it was a big fuck you to like people that were part of the band and kind of left, and we wanted to do something. We wanted to make a statement, and we knew that I knew I could sing metal, and that's where it all happened.
Right. So you said there were lineup changes. What's
Yeah.
the current lineup now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, I think we have a pretty stellar lineup. We have Mayo on drums. We got Chris Lee on bass, Ravish on guitars, and myself on guitars and vocals. So the kind of lineup's been around since, like almost 2 years, kind of.
So you guys have been as a band playing and been together for 2 years?
No, we've been like this whole metal outfit's been around maybe, I want to say 3.5.
All right.
Kind of, yeah. 3.5.
So somewhere around close, ending towards the first year, you guys came up.
Yeah.
Progress further.
Yeah. To be honest, the EP did a lot, like recording that, because we didn't really know what was going to happen, whether people are going to like it. Like I said, we did like alternative rock, which is like, but just releasing it and seeing some of the positive responses, and people like emailing us and comparing us to bands like In Flames, which is one of my all-time favorite bands, and that was very encouraging, and it just gave us like a sort of validation that, hey, we should just pursue what we love doing and just be honest with what our art is, and just exactly, stick to your guns and do what comes naturally, and
So, what was the craziest experience of the gig? What was the most craziest gig you ever experienced? Like, whether it was performing, or maybe it was to get to the venue or after the show.
Oh man.
Not necessarily the worst, but
Yeah.
interesting.
So interesting. Right before we, I guess, became a metal band, the one and only show that a drummer organized, and he's gonna hate me for like saying the story because after this he gets ragged on. But so he organizes. He says, "Hey, I booked a show for us," and so it's very vague. And it first goes on. It's a matter of like. It's for a good cause. It's for kids with disabilities and for like a music show. I was like, that's awesome. Like, would love to be a part of it. And then we don't really know where it is. Not really sure about the timing. And the date is like approaching closer and closer. We're practicing for the gig. Not much details. On the day of the show, we find out that it's in a Coville. Like adjoining. Like so, the Coville's here. They have like a hall kind of thing adjoining that.
All right.
And we're going to be playing metal. And like Ravish, even though it's from he's Hindu, like his family's Hindu. So he felt kind of conflicted, like playing metal basically in a temple, right? It's the same kind of building. So somehow or the other, we're like, okay, let's do this. And we kind of go where we get to the venue again, Coville, like temple, we're unloading the stuff, and I see this poster, and it says concert in aid of deaf children of like that area. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I wonder when that is, right? So I'm like loading the equipment, and then I come back and I notice it's the same date. And at which point I realize what's happening, and I tell Mayo, dude, like, you didn't like tell us that this was the concert we're playing, right? And it was just one of those moments where completely Godsmacked, don't know what to do. Can you even? To be honest, my first reaction was like, is this kind of? Would it be like insulting? Like, I don't know why, but I just be insensitive. So I do what every Sri Lankan boy would do: call their mom for advice. I'm like, Mom, like, what do I do? And yeah, I know auntie's advice. Yeah, and she's like, they would have called you guys for a reason. They know that you guys play metal, so why don't you just do it? I wasn't that convinced. There was a lady who organized it, and I spoke to her and I said, hey, are you sure you want us to play metal? Like, just wanted to get confirmation, just so that we know that they know, you know what I mean? And then what she told us was that this is one of the opportunities that the kids get to feel normal and to experience something outside. And when she said that, it was like game over. We know what we have to do. We just have to play our hearts out. And we all came together and we said, we'll, like, music and performance, it's not just an auditory experience, it's visual, it's sensory, there's something in the air, right? So we spoke to we decided we're going to play our hearts out, we're going to perform, we're going to be more expressive and like a little bit more flashy, yeah. So then we played, and it was just at first, after every song, we're like, are we gonna get like hurled like bottles and like something gonna get thrown at us? You know what I mean? But we played, we gave it our all, gave it our best, and we had this like applause, right? Which was amazing, and you can see like the kids are like so they're into it, they're like looking and
what kind of age group were the kids in?
It was like a huge range. So you had kids like 7, 8, like small kids, to like teenagers, to like even older people, and just to be able to do that. I had this thing where I have a metal slide, and there's one song where I pulled it out and then just start like playing it, and then they're like, what is going on? And this kid's just like looking, which is awesome, man. Like that, I mean, it's the weirdest show that we played, but it's one of the best shows we played too. Yeah.
So, lyrical content, is there like a message behind the concept of what you guys behind the band's, what's the band's message?
Right.
Is there any particular concept you'll focus on, or is it just you just go with the flow?
I think it's more or less go with the flow and just express. Metamorphosis was very much autobiographical, but I think it was written in a way where it was general, where people can relate to it, because a lot of things that we go through are similar and we can relate to each other from that. But I'd love to see our music to be positive, regardless of any circumstance.
Breaking stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just I like the positive message. Having said that, metal, it lends itself to approaching topics that are taboo, that aren't really discussed in the mainstream.
Yeah.
So definitely open to that. I think the stuff that we're writing right now, the stuff about ideology, like religious extremism. So anything at the end of the day that I'm like moved by, that I feel like strongly about, is what ends up being one of the songs.
All right. So is there anything particular you wanted to say to any musician over here, like that kind of encourage them to continue and work on their craft? Is there anything you would like to say to them?
Yeah, I'd say just do it, man. Like, just go for it. And even if you feel like it's not going to go anywhere, just try it. Just try it. Put yourself out there. Put your music out there. Even if it sucks the first time, it's only going to get better. Like, the first show is going to suck. We played where there was no one. Like, we played to a guy who was like just like sweeping around, like in Toronto, this place called the Garrison. And then we're like, hey, thanks for listening to us. And then it's like, oh, I'm paid to be here, kind of deal. Like, so like, there's gonna be shitty shows, but they're gonna be amazing. You have a lot of fun. So just keep working on your craft and don't worry about what other people are doing. If you feel strongly about something, just work on what you're interested in and just keep pushing.
And any platform that we can, check out your music, like Facebook? Is there anything?
Yeah, so
is there a website?
So we have a landing page right now, drafttheband.com. If you go there, we have links to all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter. You can download our EP on Bandcamp, which is also listed there. I think you can stream it on Apple Music. So it's available pretty much on most places. But yeah, go to the website. You can find stuff. We'll probably ramp that up leading to the website, but no promises there. Again, promise a bit less and to go over it. Yeah.
All right. So that's Dylan from Draft, and thanks for coming up doing this interview at Decibel.
Thanks, Dan. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Yasmin.
Thanks.
That's a wrap. Bye.
Ciao.